Hi there, welcome to this video. I am Natasja, and first off I'd like to thank all of my new subscribers for joining my channel, and I hope your time on my channel is time well spent. Today I am going to do a reading for you about what stands in the way between me and my best life. I have created this reading layout for you for this question with these three cards representing you or the situation that is present or in motion. We have here three cards for the obstacles and these three cards that represent your best life. And it shows, of course, what stands between you and your best life and what needs to be worked on in order for you to be able to live your best life. Now, before I go to the reading, I like to share this with you. I received from one of my subscribers and a customer this wonderful, beautiful box with in here a unique tarot deck. It is a Thai tarot deck, and I really wanted to show this off, and I will share some of the lore. She wrote me an email with the lore, the Thai lore about some of these figures that you see in some of these cards. Now you can see that the themes are a mix between Thai culture and the ancient European culture, which is usually depicted in traditional tarot. I think these cards are gorgeous. They are no longer in print. It's very difficult to find any specific Thai lore cards anymore. That's what she wrote me. I feel honored to have received these cards, and I will gladly use them in my readings. As you can see, they are this is also a card that has a story onto it, and this one should as well, although I'm not quite sure what the story of that card is. I know she wrote me about the Fool and the Magician, so I will read to you what she wrote to me in her email regarding these cards, because I'm always interested in different cultures and different lores. Now, if you don't want to watch all of this, I can understand. I'll be using timestamps in the description box for you to go to the reading of your choice. When I am done showing these cards, I will show you the options for the reading, and then I will read the text that she wrote to me about this Thai lore. I think these cards are amazing. They're beautiful, and the depictions are very clear, and I really love how this Thai culture shines through in every card. It's literally adapted to the lore, and without losing their original symbology or depictions. The colors are beautiful and bright, and I think this is a gorgeous deck. Look at this card. This is amazing. This is really beautiful. Another amazingly beautiful card. They are very clear in what they depict and what they show, so you don't even need to know much about the Thai lore to be able to use this deck, so that's quite amazing. So I'll skip through these cards for a moment, and I do apologize if I sound a little weird today. It's spring here, and I have allergies that are really coming in strong these days. I've already taken medication, but still I may sound a little weird. Look at this gorgeous picture. I totally adore this deck. So I'll be very honored to use this deck. I will use it today in one of the readings, or maybe all of the readings. I did brought another deck with me. I haven't decided yet on which deck to use. So this is literally an amazingly beautiful deck. And I'll show you the back of the cards later as well. Look at this pentacle. This is an ancient Thai coin. That's what they looked like. She showed me a picture of them, and that's really amazing. That's really amazing that these old cultural aspects are woven into these cards. So beautiful. They really didn't miss anything in the symbology. Even the expression on this guy's face, it's amazing. Totally amazing. Yeah, exceptionally beautiful deck. As you can see, the depictions are very, very clear as to what they mean. And they have enough of the traditional imagery as well as the Thai lore imagery. This is the back of the cards. Beautiful. So I will show you. I have brought 4 andaras with me. For choice number 1, you can choose the golden andara. For choice number 2, you can use the red andara. For choice number 3, you can use the clear andara. And choice number 4 is the orchid andara. You can use the timestamps in the description box to go to the video of your choice. And if you don't want immediately to go to the video but want to know more about this Thai lore, stick around because I will be reading what she wrote me about the Thai lore. This is going to take a while, so you decide if you want to stick around for this. So she wrote to me that on this Thai deck, only the Fool, the Magician, the Hierophant and the Temperance cards depict someone the Thai are familiar with. I am not sure about this card. It seems to me a cultural aspect as well. Maybe she missed it. Maybe she'll come back to me about this one later. Now, to begin with the Fool, it depicts, I hope I pronounced this correctly, Chao Ngo, from a piece of Thai literature called Sang Tong, literally meaning the gold conch. There is a story about the golden prince of the sea conch. And that is about this character here in this card. There once lived a king named Yosa Vimal, whose principal wife gave birth to a sea conch. A jealous minor wife of the king bribed a soothsayer to warn him the conch would bring him evil, and the wife was banished. From the conch there came forth a beautiful boy who was called Sang Tong. When the minor wife heard of this, she had the king order the boy throw into the ocean. A Naga saved the boy and gave him to an ogress, Panturat, who raised him as her own child. So that Sang Tong would not know her real identity, she assumed human form and hid from him her magic pools of gold and silver, in which a person could dip himself. Her disguise as a negrito or ngo, which could make its wearer invulnerable, and her crystal shoes and golden staff with which one could fly through the air. She had all of that. When 15 years old, Zhang Tong discovers his mother is in fact an ogress. He steps into the golden pool to become the Golden Prince. He steals the magic clothes and flies off to a mountaintop. Panturat pleads with him, but he will not return. She then passes on to him a secret formula known as the Great Jewel, which, when scratched on a stone, will deliver up to the owner all the fish of the sea and the deer of the forest. Having done this out of love for him, she dies of a broken heart. Actually, there's more story to follow after the ogress dies. When they chose, but that is in a video clip with pictures. I haven't watched the video yet. I might come back to that later. If I use this deck in a reading, this card pops up, I will share with you more of the lore. But this is the story of Zhang Tong, or the Chao Ngo. The Magician card, it depicts Ganesh. Most of us are pretty familiar with Ganesh. Ganesh is one of the best known and loved deities in the Hindu pantheon of gods, and indeed is the most recognized outside of India. But who is this elephant-headed fellow, and why is he so popular? Ganesh, also spelled Ganesha or Ganesha, and known as Ganapati, Vinayaka, and Pilayar, is the Lord of good fortune who provides prosperity, fortune, and success. He is the Lord of beginners and the remover of obstacles in both material and spiritual kinds. Interestingly, he also places obstacles in the path of those who need to be checked. Because of these attributes, Ganesh is widely revered by almost all castes and all parts of India, regardless of any other spiritual affiliations. His image is found everywhere in many different forms, and he is invoked before the undertaking of any task. Ganesh is also associated with the first chakra or energy wheel, which underpins all of the other chakras and represents conservation, survival, and material well-being. He is considered to be a patron of the arts and sciences and of letters. Devotees believe that if Ganesha is worshipped, he grants success, prosperity, and protection against adversity. In a lesser-known role, Ganesh is also the destroyer of vanity, selfishness, and pride. There exists a large number of legends, myths, and stories relating to Ganesh and his appearance, all reflecting the wealth of symbolism that attends him. The most famous is how he came to have an elephant's head. It is said that the goddess Parvati, wishing to bathe, created a boy and assigned him the task of guarding the entrance to her bathroom. When her husband Shiva returned from one of his interminable battles, he was denied access by Ganesh and killed the boy in a fit of petulant rage, striking his head off with his sword. Parvati was understandably upset, and so to soothe her, Shiva sent out his warriors to fetch the head of the first dead creature they found, which happened to be that of an elephant. The head was attached to the body of the boy, and he was brought back to life. The elephant's head symbolizes unmatched wisdom and the gaining of knowledge through reflection and listening. And because of his role as his mother's doorkeeper, he is often placed facing doorways to keep out the unworthy. Now we have the Hierophant, which depicts the Lord Buddha who attains enlightenment and teaches people the path to nirvana that ends the cyclic existence of reincarnation. And the Temperance card depicts Garuda. And Garuda is a bird creature from Hindu mythology that has a mix of eagle and human feathers. He is the vehicle, or Vahana, of Vishnu and appears on the god's banner. Garuda represents birth and heaven and is the enemy of all snakes. In Indian art, Garuda gradually acquired more human form over the centuries and so maintained only his wings. In Cambodia, however, he retains even today the great talons and vicious-looking beak of a bird of prey. Garuda traditionally has the torso and arms of a man and wings, head, beak and talons of an eagle or vulture. His body is gold in color, his wings are red and his face is white. Garuda is also known as the king of the birds, Kageshvara, and he who has beautiful feathers, Suparna. As golden-bodied Suvarnakaya and the devourer, Nagantaka, and the latter name is in reference to his role as the enemy of all snakes, which are symbolic of death and the underworld. In contrast, Garuda represents birth and heaven. In addition, he is associated with the sun and fire. Garuda's wife is Unnati or Vinayaka in other versions, and his son is Sampati, another mythical bird and ally of Rama. Garuda is the offspring of Kashyapa and Vinata, or also Tarksya in other versions, and it was following his mother's quarrel with her co-wife Kadru, the queen of serpents, that Garuda acquired his dislike of snakes. So this is the lore that she sent me with this deck for these 3 cards. Maybe she can come back to me about this card. I'll ask her about this card. It is the devil, but it is depicted in a different way from the Western culture, so it may be a different story to that as well. Now I will move on. Before I move on, let me show you this. She also sent me these bookmarkers. I'm not sure how you call these in English. They are a bit of the Japanese style. I think they're beautiful. I already took one out and used it because I'm reading a book at this point. And I think they're so cute and so beautiful and so amazing. And to top it all off, she put it all in this wonderful golden box, and she made with letters my name on it. And I thank her so very much for this wonderful gift, and I really wanted to share with you the richness of the different cultures that are also depicted in the tarot cards. So let's move on to our reading. I've already introduced the andaras and the choices, but I will do it once again. The first choice is the golden andara. The second choice is the red andara. The third choice is the clear andara. And the fourth choice is this orchid andara. And just to remind you what this reading is about, after all these lore, we are going to find out what stands between you and your best life. And the first 3 cards depict you in your past, present or future, or the evolving situation. Your best life is depicted in these 3 cards, and these 3 cards are the obstacles that are in your way between you and your best life. Now let's go on with the reading. And before we go on with the reading, I would like to ask you to please subscribe to my channel, like the video, comment and share, and interact with it as much as you can to help me get noticed by the YouTube algorithms. If you like to see more of my videos, please click the bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a new video. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram under the name Pegasus Tarot Club, and if you want a personal reading, you can contact me by email. It is all in the description box below for reference. So now that is out the way, let's start with our reading. I feel to use this deck for the first reading. So for those of you who chose the golden andara, I will be using the Angel Tarot from Doreen Virtue. To find out what stands in your way between you and your best life. So let's turn over the cards and see what we have here. The first card, we find the Emperor. The second card is the 7 of Earth. And the third card is the Queen of Earth. These are quite beautiful cards already. Let's see what your best life is about. We find the 4 of Air. We find the Dreamer, which is akin to the Fool, and we find the 9 of Air. Wow, there's a certain messages here. I will come back to that. What stands between you and your best life? We find the 5 of Air, the Ace of Earth, and the Knight of Water. Now, first thing that strikes me is that you have already created a lot for yourself. You've created stability and security for yourself, and you are a leader in your own right. You just take the leadership role and move forward and do what is necessary to make the situation stable and prosperous for everyone. It's about being able to organize, use logic, structure and discipline, and you do that quite well. You have sown the seeds to create your own empire, and now all you need to do is wait until these seeds are ripe enough and the harvest can be harvested. So patience is necessary here, and in the meantime we find the King of Earth, which is about being able to create abundance for yourself and keep the abundance alive. Make sure that there is financial stability and prosperity. You're professional and responsible and practical. Almost everything you do turns to gold. So this is about being successful in whatever you want to achieve. You've sown the seeds. It does seem that you may feel that your goals are not being met because the Emperor is in fact a little higher than the King. So you may set your dreams very high, set high standards for yourself, and maybe you might feel a bit disappointed if you don't exactly bring this empire to fruition, but it's rather a kingdom. Still, I don't think you should complain. It's quite normal that some of the harvest gets lost, and it's very good of you to set the stakes high so that you can be sure that there's always enough if there are some losses. So you have created a very good start for yourself. You're very much working on stability, on security. You're very responsible. You're a leadership person. But all you can do now is for these seeds to become harvestable. And what I see in your best life, I see something amazing here. It may be that you're a bit of a thinker, a bit of a worrier. And what I see here is that in your best life, that worry aspect relaxes. We find the Four of Air, which is very much about taking a break, taking time for yourself, taking time to recuperate. You've been working very hard, and maybe you run the risk of getting overworked. You need to clear your mind. You need to take some distance between you and the thing that occupies your mind. And we find the dreamer, which is usually in its traditional meaning, it is about starting a new journey, starting on a new path where every possibility is still open and you know nothing and all you have to guide you on your path is your intuition. So it's a very uncertain path that you're walking on, but in combination with these two cards, what I see here is that you might have lucid dreams. You may have the ability for lucid dreaming. The Nine of Air can be about sleeplessness or restless nights or nightmares. But in combination with these two cards, I would even say that you might not feel rested after a night's sleep because you have been dreaming. You have been lucid dreaming. You have the ability to take control of yourself in your dreams and therefore change how the dream will end, but you need a quiet mind for that. You need to clear your mind. The dreamer is also the zero, and the zero is the emptiness, the nothingness. So it means that you must learn to empty your mind. So meditation would be a good tool for you to use. And then you might be able to discover this new talent of you that can open up new realities for you. If you are able to discover this talent of lucid dreaming, I find it quite extraordinary to find this in the cards. I've never seen them like this. Quite amazing. But what stands in your way? Well, there is a quarrel. There is a dispute or a fight or arguments with someone, and I think it is your significant other. And the subject is money. It's about wealth, monetary issues, financial issues, material issues. And there is this quarreling going on, and I really think this is about your romantic partner, because usually the Knight of Water is about a romantic relationship or a romantic love interest or partner in your life, falling in love, getting proposals for marriages or relationships or moving in with someone. But it's also quite emotional and not always controlled. So emotions can be roaring high, and I believe that kind of fuels these arguments as well. Maybe you suspect your partner just to be with you for the money, or maybe you are the one that has stress about money and blame it on your partner. Anyway, you are rather occupied with material things. Also, that is very clear in these cards. These are all green cards. That is very much about the material realm. So you're really focused on material matters, financial matters, and the focus in your best life has moved from material realm to the mental aspect of life, and that is where new adventures lie ahead for you, and it might totally and entirely shift your focus, and that is what I'm seeing in this reading, that once you open up these barriers between you and your best life, you will find that the material matters, as long as you can feed yourself, clothe yourself, and have a roof over your head, everything is fine, and you can focus more on the metaphysical part of life. So I think you are on the path to completion of bringing material security and financial security together with this adventure in the spiritual realm. But you really feel that there is someone in your life, and most likely a romantic partner, that is interfering with your feelings of security, or maybe causing problems in material sense, in financial sense, and causing quarrels about money. Maybe your partner was overspending, or maybe you are overspending on your partner and then kind of turning the situation around and blaming your partner for it, or your partner might be blaming you for not providing well enough, or whatever is going on. The money, the financial aspects are a reason for quarreling with a romantic partner, and that is really deterring you from exploring this dream world that is lying there waiting to be opened up for you. So set aside your financial worries. It seems you can get everything right there with what you need, so you don't have to worry about the basic things of life, and you probably live in abundance during your life as well. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. Maybe you can kind of soothe these quarrels, take a little more distance, and focus on some parts of life that you might not have explored as much. So I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I wish you an amazing day. Be blessed. Bye. For those of you who chose the red andara, I will be using my new Thai tarot deck for you to find out what stands between you and your best life. Let's see what we have here. We have two jumping cards. We have the Empress and the Ten of Pentacles. So the theme of this reading is about the creation of financial stability, not just for yourself, but for your children and generations after you. Now let's turn over. This is your current life. We find the Ten of Cups. We find the World. And we find the Five of Pentacles. This is amazing. Your best life is going to be the Three of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, and the Four of Cups. And the obstacles that are in your way is the Seven of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, and the Three of Swords. I see. Right. The theme of your reading, like I said, is about the creation of financial stability for not just yourself, but for others, your family and generations after you. It could be about pensioning, it could also mean there is a heritage coming, but because of the Empress, I feel that this is wealth that you've created on your own, or are creating on your own. Now, your present life, I see an emotionally very fulfilling life. Emotionally, you are very full. You have a rich emotional life. You can see the goodness in small things. You can see the beauty and the fullness of the you can see how things are embodied with souls and spirit, and you kind of indulge in that. You're a very spiritual person, and the world also emphasizes that. It seems on a spiritual level you have completed your task here on this world. You are extremely sensitive, emotional, understanding, giving, warm-hearted, and it seems that this is the culmination of a certain task that you took on. It seems to me that you incarnated here with a mission to finish off all remnants of previous lives regarding unfinished, unsolved emotions and hurts and things like that. And it seems that you are working on it to a closure. And this situation seems a stark contrast, but it's not uncommon for very spiritual people to kind of denounce the material world and to say, you know what, I don't want to have anything to do with the material world. I rather live in this sensitive, feeling, spiritual world where I'm connected with the entire universe. What strikes me is that this is an oval shape, but also the rainbow is an oval shape. So you feel really in touch with the universe, you feel in harmony with the universe, and this is what matters to you. So you're kind of neglecting this material aspect. But the thing is, we did incarnate in a physical realm, and our bodies need nourishment, and we need a roof over our head, and there's nothing wrong with providing for the people you love, and that is where this team comes in. So what your challenge is to combine providing well for yourself and your family with your very, very highly developed spiritual life. If you can combine these two, you can create quite literally heaven on earth. And that is kind of what these cards depict for me. Now, your best life, we find, let me begin with this card. I find this a bit curious, but I might get to it. Begin with this card. The Three of Pentacles is about a test of skill. You are taking a test. It could be an exam, or you're having to do an assignment for a possible employer, or maybe you want to start a partnership with people, and you need to show what you can do, what your skills are. It also is about other people watching you, kind of judging you, not in a negative way, can be if your skills are lacking, but usually it means that you're kind of showing what you can do, and that people are kind of assessing what your level of skill is. It also means that you're working on your skills. It also means that you use your creative skills. It also is very much about working with your hands and creating beautiful things, like this man is creating amazing wood carvings. So this is very much about the expansion of the material realm in any way, by means of work, by means of creativity. We find the Two of Swords and the Four of Cups. It seems that there is a choice to be made in the future, or in your best life. Maybe you need to commit to it without even knowing what it will bring. But you can trust on it, that whenever you are in a situation that you are in need of help, quite magically help will appear. If you need another cup, the cup will be offered to you. If you can trust in this, how the universe, and you should be able to, because we have this card in your reading, you should be able to trust that even if you cannot oversee the consequences of what you're starting or for the choice that you're making, you can have faith that the universe will provide for you as long as you use your skills to work on the outcome as well. And then it's not necessary to know mentally what will be coming. You will be using your intuition as a compass. You may feel that you want to make a certain choice with your mind, but your intuition tells you something else. And in this case, you're advised to use your intuition, because the mind can only think so far, but your intuition is directly connected with your soul and the universe and knows the entirety of what's ahead. So you can follow your intuition, learn to trust it. It may be a challenge somehow, but even though, I think the real challenge for you is combining this material aspect with your spiritual faiths and beliefs in order to create this abundance. And if I look at what stands in between you, we see more signs of choices and the fear of disappointment and heartbreak. The Seven of Cups is about dreaming, fantasizing, what shall I become when I grow up? What option to choose? What do I like? What do I want? What will work out for me? There's a lot of doubt, there's a lot of dreaming, but it's all very not really grounded in reality. It's more of a daydream, it's more of a fantasy, it's more about emotional whims that you are confronted with. And this card tells me pretty much the same story. You need to choose, but you don't know what is good for you. You don't know how to choose. And the only way that's left in a situation like that is to use your intuition more. So again, we find the balancing of two options, the balancing of two things. Maybe you're trying to do two things at once, and then you are going, it's quite inevitable that you're going to drop one of them, or not being able to fulfill the tasks that you took upon yourself to full satisfaction, and you might be disappointed in the result. This could also mean that you are daydreaming about maybe one or two lovers, who to choose, what will be the best option. Now, this is a general reading, and it can mean about this to be about a lover, but it can also mean about your prospects for the future. You're weighing options. You are trying to find a way in how to make your choices, how to go from this via this to this. And the one thing these cards are telling me is trust in your own skill. Trust in the fact that the universe takes care of those who take care of themselves, and use your intuition if you are faced with these difficult choices that you need to weigh. And that's what I'm really seeing here. And the fear of disappointment is kind of making this choice difficult. But if you can see how, if one thing isn't happening in your life, even though you want it and maybe think you need it, if you move through time, you will find that sometimes, mostly a couple of years later, you discover that it was a good thing that the thing that you thought you wanted didn't happen. Because you either found something better or are indirectly or directly, if you did pursue your dreams and wishes, you might be confronted with the downside of them. To see, everything is balanced out, everything has a positive and a negative, and sometimes the negatives outweigh the positives, but you're not aware of the negatives. So there is this undecisiveness that is maybe throwing a wrench in your plans. It is really a theme of this reading, needing to create more material abundance for yourself, be creative in that, but also using your intuition and trying to make a decision which you cannot oversee quite yet. Follow your instincts, follow your intuition. That is the best way to move forward. Try not to focus too much on this, because whatever you focus on becomes bigger and more prevalent in your life. Keep your eyes on the prize and keep moving forward. Don't fall into a stagnant situation. And also remember, if you are juggling two things, most likely neither of them will reach the desired results. It's easier to commit to one thing and then find a solid result from that than trying to juggle two things and expect them both to go 100%. You have this treasure inside of you, and you can trust it. You can fall back upon this if you feel yourself in this situation. You can fall back on this if you are confronted with these fantasies and dreams and what ifs and should I, and all these these thoughts that we can have. I hope this will give you some direction into what direction you should be moving and how you can assert your qualities. These are very important, these two: trust in the universe, and if you can't make up your mind, use your intuition. You have a strong connection with the universe. You can trust that the universe takes care of you. You can trust your own abilities. You have the ability to create more and more of the good in your life in such a way that you will be able to provide for the people you love, your children, and maybe even their children. So I hope this reading gave you some clarity, and I wish you an amazing day. Be blessed. Bye. For those of you who chose to clear andara, I will prepare your reading. So these are your cards. Let's turn them over and see what we have here. We find the Three of Pentacles. We find the Seven of Wands. And we find the Six of Swords. In your best life, we see the World, the Eight of Cups, and the Four of Wands. Now, what is in between you and your best life? We find the Four of Pentacles, the Six of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. I see, at this point in time, I see you using your creative abilities. You are trying to show off what you can do. You are trying to get some recognition for what you're doing, but you're not getting it. You feel not appreciated. You feel attacked. You feel like you have to defend yourself for whatever it is that you're doing. You don't feel appreciated, you don't feel supported, you feel alone, opposing a lot of negative energy from other people. It feels like a struggle to you, an uphill battle even sometimes, and it seems you're contemplating moving out of the situation. You don't see how this situation will ever change, and you are seriously kind of thinking of moving away from this situation. Could be that you're moving away from a job where you don't feel appreciated, or maybe some other activities that you do that get a lot of negative reactions from people around you, and that you are reconsidering trying your luck elsewhere. And in your best life, I kind of see you doing that, not just in a physical way in this context, but it seems that you feel you need to follow your intuition and to come to a closure of the situation that you're in right now. It is best to leave it behind, not just physically but also emotionally, and that may take a little more work. As you can see, this person is about to climb a mountain, so it's not going to be an easy road. It's going to be long, difficult and harsh, but you need to remove yourself emotionally from this situation, and then you will find yourself in a place where you are able to celebrate the abundance that is actually there, and be more festive, more happy, more light-hearted. You see more reason to celebrate than at this point where you feel you're constantly having to defend yourself. Now, what is in your way? Something has come to an end, but you're still clinging on to it. Something that belonged to the past or your childhood, and you're still clinging on to it, but it's actually ended. So maybe you're trying to keep a certain situation alive. Maybe you have trouble taking on responsibility. In the case if you are a younger person, you may have trouble leaving your carefree childhood behind you and taking on responsibilities, but at a certain point in your life you're going to have to. But it seems that you're clinging on to this innocent childlike state in yourself. Maybe you have trouble taking responsibilities, but you have come to a place in your life where you need to take responsibilities. The situation that you're clinging on to has really ended, and with no chance of revival. It is almost dead and buried. There's no way of going back to this situation. It's really like an adult trying to still behave like a child because he doesn't want to leave this carefree, playful childhood with the innocence. But in the real world, you're not going to make it if you are holding on to this. And this is very much holding on, not letting go, not being able to go with the flow, but keeping things stagnant, keeping them tight, in order to create maybe a false sense of security in your life. But it sounds harsh, but it is time for you to grow up and leave this behind you in order to move on. Trust that the universe has your back, and leave behind the situations that you're clinging on to, and you will find lots of reasons to celebrate, instead of now having to defend yourself, possibly for not even wanting to let go of a situation that has already ended. And maybe this is about you are contemplating leaving behind those people who are criticizing you. But it seems to me that they are trying to spur you into growing up, taking your own responsibility, move forward and create your own life instead of clinging to times that are gone. A very profound message. It's not going to be easy, especially there are a couple of challenges for you. The first challenge is to let go, to recognize that maybe some of the criticism that you're getting, it may be true. Maybe you should heed what you're hearing. Maybe some of these people do have your best interest at heart. Um, And maybe you do need to let go. So these are three challenges in actuality. You need to recognize the truth of some of the criticisms that you're getting. And the second challenge is actually letting go and moving out of this situation. How sad it's even be, you can always go back to the memories of it, but you need to move on. Any healthy person is moving in its life. As soon as things become stagnant, they will become to go sour. It's just like water. If you have water moving, you can keep it fresh for centuries. But if you let it sit still in a jar or a pot or a bottle or whatever, it will soon become mucky and smelly and you won't be able to drink it anymore. And that's the situation that you are kind of creating for yourself. So the second challenge is to actually let go. Try to go with the flow. Move on with your life and trust the universe that has your back. Reconnect with the universe as your womb, and there you will find the real security that you're trying to hold on to here, which is nothing but false security. Growing up means leaving behind situations and going into the unknown and finding your own place in the world. You will find it. You definitely will find it, and you will have lots of things to be very happy and grateful for. And there will be stability in your life, and there will be abundance in your life, and there will be good things in your life that ask for celebration, like marriages and childbirth and things like that. So there is a good future for you, but you need to let go of the past, however good it was for you and however you want it to linger on forever. So I hope this message was useful for you, and I wish you an amazing day. Be blessed. Bye. For those of you who chose the Orchid andara, I will prepare your reading. So these are your cards. Let's see what we have here. We find the Queen of Swords. We find the Eight of Swords. And we find the Ten of Swords. Your best life, we find Temperance. We find the Hanged Man. And we find the Page of Cups. And what stands in between you and your best life? We find the Hierophant, the Six of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords. To begin with this, and I felt it when I was shuffling the deck, you have had a very difficult life. You have been through many heartaches, many troubles, many worries, and from that you have gained wisdom and clarity of mind, and you have become an amazing judge of peoples and situations. But it comes with a price. And the price you're at this moment paying is that you feel stuck in this situation of betrayal, of, um, this is about a murder, this is about betrayal, this is about someone stabbing you in the back, this is about terrible things, and I can see that you have very much trouble of letting that go. You have this in you, if you can overcome this. But you need somehow to move on from these situations, because let me tell you a secret. If you, and I can speak from experience here, if you've been through a lot and you keep coming back to the things that were done to you, you are keeping it alive, you are keeping the wounds open. And so in that way they will never be able to heal, and you won't be able to move on from this situation. You need to let it go. You need to recognize that it was there, that you've been hurt, but you need to see how the situation has passed, or if it hasn't passed yet, that you have the ability to get out of there. It may seem like you don't have the ability, maybe you don't see the solution right now, but the solution is there. And since these are all swords, this is a mental thing. This is about your own self-talk. This is about how you treat yourself. Are you blaming yourself for the things that happened to you? Are you vengeful? Are you having thoughts of revenge? Things like that? Then you're keeping this situation alive and um, present in your situation. So you kind of need to see that you can end this way of thinking so that you can escape from this situation, because in this card the woman is tied up and surrounded by swords, and swords are mental aspects of ourself. Translated quite literally, you could say each sword is a self-harming thought. You need to remove these self-harming thoughts, because you're proliferating the hurt that others done to you, but now you are the one doing it to you. This is a trapping that many people who have been through a lot get stuck in. It is one of the most difficult things of overcoming past hurt and betrayal. But what do we see in your best life? We see the Temperance card, or what's his name? Let me look it up again. It is Garuda. This is the bird-like god figure that eliminates the snakes, that fights the snakes. Now, snakes are the ones who do this to you, right? And in your best life, you find yourself more powerful than the snakes in your life. But to get there, you must change the way you look at life. As long as you consider yourself a victim, you will never discover your inner strength. You need to look inside to see how in the world did you survive all of this? What are your sources? What is the thing that's been keeping you alive? What was the water in your cup that you could drink each and every time when you felt parched in this situation? Because you have the ability, but you need to turn the situation around. Another secret that I will share with you is that people treat you as they are, not as you are. So if you can see that, that is the key to turning around your situation. As you can see that the people who do these things are what they do. You are not what they do. You are better than that. Otherwise they wouldn't need to do this to kind of keep you in check for their own well-being. So if you can see that and you can shift that around, you will find balance, you will find your own integrity, and you will find your own power. And from that moment on, I suspect most snakes will not even like to come near you. But if they do, you know what to do with them. You can get there, you can definitely get there. But what stands in your way? What I see here is, first off, this is one of the keys. Meditate. And also meditate in a sense that empowers you. Go back if you need to this reading as much as you can to hear what I said about turning the situation around and realizing that the people who did this to you are acting from their own weakness, and their actions reflect who they are, not who you are. Meditate on that. Take that with you. Internalize that. Program yourself with that. So that you can get out of this victimhood, this victim mindset where you are dependent on the whim of others to either help you or kick you in the mud. And if you make yourself this vulnerable, predators will come around because they like easy targets. Don't make yourself an easy target. Become strong in your own right. Create your own dominion. This card is about dominion as well. Occupying yourself, occupying your own space, occupying your own thoughts, your own feelings, your emotions, everything that is part of you, occupy it. Because if you don't, others will. And they will use their position in a way that disadvantages you. Because you're now dependent on the whims of another. Don't go there. Occupy yourself. Become your own power instead of waiting for other people to save you or to help you. And you can turn again this situation around where you can become this person, where you have become strong enough and have been able to overcome your past, that you can share whatever fruits it brought with other people who need them. Maybe in a sense like I do, but don't, again, this is all about dominion of yourself. If you don't occupy yourself, others will. If you're not watchful in your own camp, people will come in and steal what you have. So this is what stands in your way, and it's all your own mindset. Now, it may seem like an accusation, or you may feel like you're doing everything wrong, or it's a weakness, but it's not. It's your strength, because you have control over your thoughts. You are the one that can decide to think another thought if you don't like the thought you're thinking right now. If you don't like the effects that these thoughts have on you, you can change them out and say, you know what, I'm going to think different things that make me happy, that make me feel strong, that make me feel like I occupy myself, occupy my space, not only your space in the physical sense, but also your mental space and your emotional space, your spiritual space. Know that you are an expression of the divine. Once you respect that in yourself, you won't treat yourself bad and you won't allow others to do it. Then you can turn this situation around and find this balance and this strength that repels snakes from your life. You have it in you, you just need to look for it. That's all. I hope this message was helpful to you, and I wish you an amazing day. Be blessed. Bye.